In a quiet American suburb, the evening sun poured golden light into a small house. Inside, a young girl named Sophie sat on the floor, sorting through an old wooden box filled with photographs, postcards, and keepsakes left behind by her late grandmother. The box smelled of time, of memories sealed away for decades. As Sophie dug deeper, her fingers stopped. There it was, an old envelope, yellowed with age, edges worn, and ink faded. A letter. But strangely, it was unopened. Discovery of the letter. Sophie held the letter carefully, almost afraid it might crumble in her hands. Her heart beat faster as she read the name on the envelope. It was addressed to a soldier, a man who had fought in World War II. The handwriting was delicate, filled with love and urgency. Yet the letter had never been delivered. Sophie whispered softly, "Who was he? And why was this letter never read?" Reading the letter. Sitting by the window, Sophie unfolded the paper with trembling hands. The words were full of emotion. A woman, perhaps a wife, a sister, or a lover, had written it. Her words spoke of courage, of waiting, of hope that one day they would be together again. Every line was soaked with love. Tears filled Sophie's eyes. This was not just paper and ink. It was a voice from the past, waiting to be heard. Flashback of the soldier. In her mind, Sophie could almost see him. A young soldier in uniform, standing in a war camp, holding a photograph of the woman he loved. She imagined his face, tired but determined. She imagined him never knowing that somewhere across the ocean, words of love were waiting for him, words that never reached him. The thought broke her heart. Searching for the soldier's family. Sophie knew she could not let the story end here. She carried the letter everywhere, determined to find its rightful home. Days turned into weeks as she searched through libraries, public records, and online archives. Each clue brought her closer to the truth. Finally, she discovered something. The soldier had passed away long ago, but his family still lived in the city. His grandson was alive. Meeting the grandson. One afternoon, Sophie stood nervously outside a suburban home. In her hand, she held the letter, still fragile, still full of secrets. The door opened, and a man in his 40s looked at her with surprise. "Can I help you?" he asked. Sophie took a deep breath. "My name is Sophie," she said softly. "I found this letter in my grandmother's things. It was written to your grandfather, but he never received it." The man's eyes widened. Slowly, he reached out, taking the letter with trembling hands. Family reading the letter together. That evening, the family gathered in their living room. The soldier's grandson carefully unfolded the letter and began to read aloud. The room fell silent. Every word carried love across decades, bridging the gap between the past and the present. Some smiled through tears, others simply closed their eyes, feeling the depth of the message. It was as though the soldier himself was in the room, listening with them, finally receiving the love that had waited so long. Final scene, legacy. When the letter was read, the family placed it gently into a frame, hanging it on the wall where everyone could see. It was no longer forgotten. It was no longer lost. Sophie stood quietly, watching, her heart full. She had given a family a piece of their history, and in return, she had witnessed how even the smallest act could carry so much meaning. Some words never lose their power. They wait, through time, through silence, until they reach the right heart. And when they do, they heal, they unite, they live on.